when somebody brings a tow truck. Nicola Moore's in Bath. You sadly discovered it for yourself, I gather.
I certainly did.
What was the car?
I picked it up in the morning. Brand new Range Rover. My last one died sadly, and that was 19 years old. So, but I don't buy cars too quickly. So I'm very proud owner of a brand new Range Rover. Go to London, see, visit my daughter, and visit with my children. And during the night, it was during the evening, rather, it was different.
So, it's totally different. I would have assumed that you had the up-to-date tech on the locks and everything.
Well, that's the whole point.
Did they lift it?
I picked it up from Range Rover, and when I picked it up from Range Rover, they didn't explain to me that I needed to download the tracking device for it. I haven't done that actually. It really.
It didn't matter too much, though, because you locked it there. They knew you, obviously.
Yeah. Well, obviously it was locked.
Yeah.
However, this is the other point that people don't talk about, is I'm in my daughter's flat, which is a basement flat in Notting Hill,
Oh, yes.
north of Notting Hill, sort of north Notting Hill.
Posh estate, yeah.
Well, no, not quite the posh bit, I think.
I knew you'd pick me up on that. Go on.
We are talking about my daughter here. We're in this basement flat, and she just bought herself a minute taxman that was going mental.
It was the dachshund was in the flat going crazy. The thieves were taking the Range Rover, and no one noticed that dachshund was onto it. Right.
Nobody noticed. We were just telling the dachshund to shut up. And I was trying to cook supper for my children. And it's only when my husband and I walked out in the morning, and I went, honey, where's the car?
Yeah, understood. Did the police show you? I gather you had some footage of it?
Yep, we have CCTV cameras, not just from, not from my daughter's house, she's in the basement, so she didn't have any cameras, but I went and spoke to neighbours across the road who did have cameras up, and downloaded all the footage, and then obviously called police to a crime number. I still have that footage on my computer, but nobody has ever asked me for it. I called police, I even drove down with it downloaded on memory stick, and said, would you like this? And you can see the guy's faces.
The faces. Oh, God, no, hang on. Don't give us that. Obviously, the faces of the people who are in there. You can see the faces of the criminals.
Yeah. I mean, they turned up.
They can't
Benefits safety net less generous, but about encouraging people into work.
If you have a low-level mobility issue, your employer could make reasonable adjustments. And if you're feeling anxious or depressed, then of course you should get the support and treatment you need to manage your condition. But that doesn't mean we should assume you can't engage in work. That's not going to help you, and it's not fair on everyone else either.
Two police sources are to be investigated in connection with prior contact they had with a woman who was stabbed to death in Bradford earlier this month. The actions of West Yorkshire Police and Greater Manchester Police are to be reviewed by the Independent Office for Police Conduct. A 25-year-old man has been charged with the murder of Kulsuma Akhtar, who was 27. Ukraine says it's shot down a long-range Russian bomber more than 180 miles inside Russia. The Defense Ministry of Moscow claims the aircraft came down because of a technical malfunction. From Kiev, here's our Ukraine correspondent James Waterhouse.
Kyiv says the Force and Intelligence Service. For Ukraine, it was a night when Russia reportedly launched 22 missiles and 14 drones. At least 9 people have been killed in the eastern Dnipropetrovsk region, 3 of them are children.
A prize money and medals. The race saw 2 athletes from Kenya and 1 from Ethiopia appear to allow a Chinese runner to win and prompted organisers to investigate. BBC News, it's 3 minutes past 11.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate that, Adam. Hope you're well, getting ready for the weekend, fired up for... have you got any time off?
No, I'm working all weekend.
Oh, I'll refresh that. All right, Adam, thank you very much.
Anyway, obviously.
Yeah, appreciate it, getting ready for your working weekend.
This is Vernon Kane on Radio 2.
It's the 11 o'clock hour. 3 minutes past and 33 seconds. This is BBC Radio 2. Rock on. Watermelon Sugar High from Harry Styles. Coming up after news, we're going to play this. Yes, we got some Slade coming your way. Looking forward to that. We got 2 more tracks from Robish on Tracks of the Year as well. And we've got all your voice notes. So all into you can take that live.
This is Radio 2
on BBC Sound.
Lizzie in the car. Now look at the 30th of April 1973. The Faces were #1 on the UK album chart with their 4th and final album, Ooh La La. Due to his continued solo success, Wells had become increasingly distant from the band, and in the end something had to give way. Here's Ross talking to Radio 1 back in 1986.
Well, at that time, I was making solo albums, and the Faces, we were making like 2 or 3 albums a year. And of course one had to suffer sooner or later, and it was the Faces. They were a little bit limited, I think, when it came to work in the studio. We were a great live band because I don't think any of us were that particularly good on our instruments at that time, but together we were good. But when we got us in the studio, that became a bit more transparent.
Here's the outside form of this piece I'm working on. I've not been brave enough to shear scrape, so you can see there's a few tool marks and a little bit of tear out. Hopefully I can get that out with a bit of glass paper. So the fun bit starts now, hogging the middle out to give it that illusion of half of it missing.
And it sounds like
Ukrainian officials say the bomber's downing was part of a special operation between the country's air force and intelligence service. For Ukraine, it was a night when Russia reportedly launched 22 missiles and 14 drones. At least 9 people have been killed in the eastern Dnipropetrovsk region, 3 of them were children.
A bizarre finish to the half marathon in Beijing last Sunday has seen the 4 fastest finishers stripped of their prize money and medals. The race saw 2 athletes from Kenya and 1 from Ethiopia appear to allow a Chinese runner to win and prompted organisers to investigate. BBC News at 3 minutes past 11.
Alright, thank you very much. Appreciate that, Adam. Hope you're well. Getting ready for the weekend. Fired up for
Dan Campbell and Southern Nights, #1 on the American singles chart this week back in 1977. And it opens up our #2 of Sound to the 70s, when we'll have an archive chat with Peter Frampton. Now, taking a look at this week in music, the 3rd of May in 1976, David Bowie played the first of 6 sold-out nights.